Chapter 4696. Faced with Duan Nianshan's inquiry, Shui Ping looked at Sheng'an, because he also heard from Sheng'an about the news about the appearance of a second Hadao realm powerhouse in Jianglan Divine Kingdom. He didn't know the specific details. Sheng'an stared at Duan Yintian with lightning eyes and asked meaningfully, "Duan Yintian, why are you asking this? Could it be that you want to say that you have some relationship with that strong man in the Hadao realm? Don't think that you both have the surname Duan and have similar names. You can fool us." As Sheng'an finished speaking, Duan Yintian hadn't spoken yet, but Shui Ping on the side was startled. Similar names? Although he learned from Sheng'an that there was a strong man newly promoted to Hadao from Jianglan Divine Kingdom, and he was from Sheng'an. People who live in the world of creation and horoscope and live in the world of gods and earth do not understand the specific situation of the other party, and they do not know the other party at all. Name. Now, after hearing Sheng'an's words, he couldn't help but be curious. Similar names? What name? Sheng'an glanced at Shui Ping and said, "It is said that the new Hadao from Jianglan Divine Kingdom made an astonishing name in Jianglan Divine Kingdom when he entered the Taoist realm. He was known as the Reverse Divine Sword, and his full name is Duan Lingtian. Duan Lingtian is now famous not only in the surrounding areas of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, but also in all parts of the Divine Land. In fact, because of the long-time gap now, even the Chongshan League, a small force in the mountains of the Divine Land world, began to spread the news about his name and the various things he had done in Jianglan Divine Kingdom. Trace. All this is just because he was promoted to a powerful Hadao man. Looking at the entire world of gods and earth, there are only a few dozen people. Duan Lingtian?" While Shui Ping's pupils shrank and his face looked horrified, Duan Yintian on the side couldn't help but turn red and his whole body was shaking violently. Although he was mentally prepared, he couldn't help but feel inexplicably excited. His father was promoted to a powerful Hadao man. How many years has it been? Less than 100 years ago. Less than 100 years after arriving in the world of gods and earth, his father, who had just arrived in the world of gods and earth and was comparable to the 8th level of Taoism, was promoted to the top being in the world of gods and earth. Sheng'an was naturally aware of Duan Nianshan's abnormality, and even with his strength and spiritual awareness, he could easily feel Duan Nianshan's emotional fluctuations, and it didn't look like he was pretending on purpose. The names are too similar, right? There's only one word missing. Shui Ping also looked at Duan Yintian, and after seeing that he was very excited, asked, "Duan Yintian, you also come from the world of creation life charts, and your name comes from the same place. The strong men of Hadao in the creation world are so similar. You two can't. Does it really matter?" At this time, Duan Nianshan's emotions calmed down a little. He looked at Shui Ping and said bluntly, "Master Shui Ping, Duan Lingtian is my father." With just one sentence, both Shui Ping and Sheng'an couldn't help but lose their composure. Soon, Shui Ping came back to his senses and said repeatedly, "Impossible." He fell on Duan Yintian with a scrutinizing gaze and sneered, "Duan Yintian, you must have known the news about the Hadao realm powerhouse in advance, so you deliberately made up such lies, right? If you are really the son of that powerful Hadao man, let alone the recent breakthrough to the Hadao realm, even if he just wandered into the world of gods and earth decades ago, it is said that he has already reached the 8th level of Taoism. You have a father who has reached the 8th level. Will you be imprisoned here by Miss Guo?" He had to question. After all, not to mention that Duan Yintian had a father who had entered the 8th level. Even if his father was only a person above the 4th level, Miss Guo would not dare to provoke him. After all, even the people behind Miss Guo, They Guiqiu, the deputy leader of the Chongshan Alliance, has only entered the 3rd level of Taoism. The strongest person in their Chongshan Alliance, the leader of the Shenlong Alliance who has never seen the beginning or end of the dragon, has only reached the 4th level of the Tao. Hearing Shui Ping's words, Sheng'an's eyes on Duan Yintian were also a little more suspicious. After all, what Shui Ping said was completely reasonable. If Duan Yintian had such a father, he would be reduced to the situation he is now. How could she be forced to this point by the daughter of a mere 3rd-level Taoist? Facing the two people's doubts, Duan Yintian did not panic. After all, he did not lie. He smiled bitterly and said, "Two adults, with the temperament of Miss Guo, If I claim that I have a father who has reached the 8th level, I am afraid that definitely will think I'm lying. Even if she doesn't think I'm lying, she will most likely choose to kill someone to silence me if she offends me like that. My father is not only no longer around, but he has wandered to nowhere in the world of gods and earth. Even if I want him to help me, water from afar cannot cure my thirst for nearness. If she has the intention to kill me, I might take the risk. But the problem is, she didn't kill me. So, in order to survive, I can only choose to endure the humiliation and bear the burden. Speaking later, Duan Yintian also looked helpless. Before the two of them could speak again, Duan Yintian looked at the two of them seriously and said sincerely, "Two adults, I don't ask you to let me go now. After all, what I say is unfounded. In your opinion, nor it must be true. However, I still hope that the two adults can find someone to visit Jianglan Divine Kingdom to confirm this matter. I believe that if my father knew my situation, he would definitely come to save me personally. And the two adults will also be able to receive a favor from my father. The favor of a strong man in the Hadao realm is enough for the two adults to send someone to give it a try. There is actually no loss for the two adults, as long as they don't inform Gua Lily of the matter. As long as you are just confirming secretly, even if it turns out that I am lying, you don't have to worry about getting punished for it. Blame Gua Lily. Gua Lily, also known as Miss Gua by Xue Ping and her husband, is the daughter of Gua Qiu, the deputy leader of the Chongshan League. After hearing Duan Nianshan's words, Xue Ping and Sheng'an looked at each other, and they both saw movement in each other's eyes. After all, this is an opportunity to get a favor from a strong man in the Hadao realm. A strong man in the Hadao realm. In the past, in their eyes, the leader of the Chongshan Alliance, who was at the 4th level of Dao realm, was an extremely powerful being that they looked up to. A strong person in the Hadao realm is someone that the leader of their Chongshan Alliance may not be able to meet even if they want to. Such an existence and a favor can definitely make them reach the sky in one step. I think we can try it. What do you think? Xue Ping Chuanin communicated with Sheng and Sheng'an responded, "You can give it a try. It just so happens that after a while, I need to travel far away, and that direction is the direction to Jianglan Divine Kingdom. I will go there in person to see if I can meet the powerful Hadao realm. Please, find out whether what Niantian said in this paragraph is true or false." Chapter 46-97. As Duan Yintian said, this matter is beneficial to both Shingon and Xue Ping. It doesn't hurt to give it a try. If they really get it right, for them, it is a favor from a strong man in the Hadao realm. They had never dreamed of such an outrageous good thing in the past. After the decision was made through the communication, Sheng'an looked at Duan Yintian. His face softened a lot. "Yintian, I will personally go to Jianglan Divine Kingdom to confirm this matter. If what you said is true, I will make your father the first time comes to save you get out. You also know that even if Xue Ping and I believe you, we don't dare to save you. After all, behind Miss Gua is Deputy Alliance Leader Gua. Although we are also elders of the Chongshan Alliance and seem to have a high status, our value to the Chongshan Alliance is not as valuable as one of Deputy Leader Gua's fingers if we are tied together. Even regardless of this, in terms of strength, together they are far from the opponent of Deputy Alliance Leader Gua. So, you have to understand us." As soon as Sheng'an finished speaking, Duan Yintian hadn't spoken yet. Xue Ping also echoed from the side, and his attitude towards Duan Yintian also changed. If this is really the son of a strong man in the Hadao realm, then that is, they need to flatter and support its existence must not be neglected. Even if it's not completely confirmed yet, it's impossible for him to treat the other party as seriously as he did in the past. "My lords, I understand." It was not difficult for Duan Yintian to guess what the two of them were thinking, but they still needed their help now, so he said it very politely. At this moment, he also saw the light of escape. At the same time, something moved in his mind. Mother should be with father. I just don't know if father has found Xiling and the others. At this thought, he couldn't help but sigh secretly. Since he wandered into the world of gods and lands decades ago, he has been alone. Although he had companions by his side when he was wandering around in the Outer Land, before the collapse of the Outer Land, he happened to be alone. so that he and his companions they didn't live together somewhere in the world of gods. Over the years, in this world of gods and earth, although his life is not worse than life, it is also extremely boring and helpless. It is completely different from the past when he was in Wanjia, in the land outside the world. How many times he was in a daze, thinking about the good life in the past. However, all of that, before today, had become a mirror in his eyes, hard to reach, and a luxury. But today, after learning that the new Hadao powerhouse in Jianglan Divine Kingdom was his father Duan Lingtian, he realized that everything he enjoyed in the past might not be able to come back. His father was not only the top strong man who could protect him in the world of the world and the world outside the world in the past, but now he was also the ceiling that could protect him in the world of gods and earth. Now, just wait for Shang'an to go to Jianglan Divine Kingdom to confirm my identity. Duan Yintian was not worried about this, because he never lied or felt guilty at all. In the next period of time, Duan Yintian lived a much more comfortable life on this isolated island, because Xue Ping secretly took care of him, so that he would not be treated like a donkey like in the past. The reason why it was secretly was because before it was confirmed that Duan Yintian was the son of a strong man in the Hadao realm, Xue Ping did not dare to offend Misqua because of Duan Yintian. In this isolated island, there is also Misqua's spy. However, it was difficult for others to detect Xue Ping's little tricks, but Yu Chong, who had the best relationship with Duan Yintian and had long noticed that Xue Ping often deliberately made things difficult for Duan Yintian in the past, realized something was wrong. Yintian, Xue Ping is. No, are you in a good mood? I don't even call you around like I used to. Probably. Duan Yintian was stunned for a moment, then nodded. Regarding the fact that his father is a new member of the Jianglan Divine Kingdom, he has no plans to tell the other party for the time being, because telling the other party is useless except to show off, and if the other party really betrays his trust, Gua Lily will know in advance. Xiao, this is not a good thing for him. It's really weird. Then Xue Ping, what good thing happened to him? Yu Chong was very curious about this, but after racking his brains, he couldn't figure out what good thing happened to the other party. It was rare that he didn't continue to target Duan Yintian. At the same time, after Shenggan went out to finish his own affairs, he continued to move forward, aiming directly at the location of Jianglan Divine Kingdom. After all, she was a first-level Taoist realm. After a while, she finally entered the territory of Jianglan Divine Kingdom and immediately found out the whereabouts of Duan Lingtian, the newly promoted Hadao powerhouse of Jianglan Divine Kingdom. The capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, Duan Mansion. Then, of course, he asked to see Duan Lingtian and frankly told him that there was news about Duan Lingshan's son, Duan Yintian. Duan Yintian? Now, although there are no relatives or friends of Duan Lingtian among the remaining people in the Duan Mansion, there are still some people who know the existence of Duan Yintian. After getting the news, some people immediately went to find the old man Qingyun, Zhaoani. He was also the strongest 7th-level powerhouse of the Qingyun holy sect in the land outside the world in the past. Before Duan Lingtian left last time, he had approached Zhaoani and asked him to help take care of the remaining people in the Duan family. Does anyone know the news about Duan Yintian, the son of brother Lingtian? Zhaoani naturally knew that the son of brother Lingtian had not been found yet. Now that someone came to the door and said that he had news about the other party, he naturally did not dare to neglect and quickly said, put down what you were doing for a while and go to Duan Mansion. Now, he also knows that the new Hadao of Jianglan Divine Kingdom is Duan Lingtian. When I first found out about it, I was naturally extremely shocked. Apart from being shocked, I was also happy for Duan Lingtian, and even felt confident in my heart. I felt that in the lives of those who came out of the creation life chart world, there was finally someone comparable to the divine soil, the existence of the top group of strong men in the world. Moreover, he has been tied to Duan Lingtian for a long time. Duan Lingtian is stronger, and he can live a more prosperous life in the world of gods and earth. Do you really have news about Duan Yintian, the son of my brother Lingtian? After seeing the person coming, Zhaoani asked straight to the point. At the same time, his spiritual consciousness unfolded, and his aura swept out, oppressing the other person's body, making him tremble, and his eyes were dead, staring at the opponent's face, wanting to confirm whether the other party is lying through their micro-expressions. So strong. Sheng'an was shocked in his heart. At the same time, he felt as if his whole body was about to fall apart. He realized that the person in front of him was definitely above the 4th level of the Tao, so he quickly begged for mercy. "My lord, please put away your spirit. Knowledge, if Duan Lingtian, if your excellency really has a son named Duan Yintian, I do know where he is now." But he didn't know that Zhaoani was not a 4th-level Daoist, but a 7th-level Daoist. "Where is he?" Zhao Enyas' eyes lit up, and at the same time he stopped pressing the other party and asked bluntly. After learning about Duan Nianshan's current situation from Shang'an, Zhao Enyas' face darkened and his eyes shone with coldness. "My lord, please convey this matter to Lord Duan Lingtian." Shang'an continued. Although the strength of the person in front of him is not weak, not even under the leader of their Chongshan alliance, the target of his trip is the newly promoted Hadao strongman, not the other party. The other party's favor is not in the Hadao realm. The favor of a strong person is of high value. Chapter 4698. Brother Lingtian has gone away on business and won't be back for a while. Zhaoani glanced at the other party and said impatiently, "You can tell me the same thing about this matter. Don't worry, if this matter is done, as long as you can help me bring back my Yintian nephew, I, Zhaoani, will never treat you badly. I, Zhaoani, although my strength is far inferior to that of Brother Lingtian, I am also at the 7th level of Taoism." At this time, after hearing Zhao Enyas' words, Shang'an finally came to his senses. Brother Lingtian? The man in front of him seems to have called Duan Lingtian, the powerful Hadao man, Brother Lingtian from the very beginning. This shows that the relationship between the two is extraordinary. Moreover, the opponent turned out to be a being on the 7th level of the Tao, much stronger than he imagined. Such an existence is far inferior to even the leader of their Chongshan alliance. Shang'an took a deep breath, looked at Zhaoani with a careful smile and said, "Sir Zhaoani, if you bring Master Yintian back, I hope you can say a few nice words for me in front of Master Duan Lingtian in the future, and tell him that his name is Shenggan, and he is an elder of the Chongshan League in the Dark Night Forest in the eastern region of Shaoshan Island." After confirming that what Duan Yintian said was true, Shenggan also called Duan Yintian Master Yintian and seemed to be very familiar with him. Hearing Shang An's words, Zhaoani took a deep look at Sheng'an and finally came to his senses. This is his plan to ask for favors from his brother Lingtian. He smiled calmly and said, "Brother Shenggan, don't worry about this. If you can help my nephew Yintian return home, let alone my brother Lingtian, I won't treat you badly. Even I won't treat you badly. You know, my nephew Yintian is the only son of brother Lingtian. You should know what he means to my brother Lingtian. It can be said that even if you make demands of me, as long as I can do my best, I will never treat you badly." As soon as Zhaoani said these words, Sheng'an was pleasantly surprised. He didn't expect that Duan Yintian was the only son of the newly promoted Hadao strongman. It seemed that he had made a lot of money this time. He didn't expect that he just came to confirm with the idea of "try it," which verified the truth of what Duan Yintian said. At the same time, he thought of the eldest lady of the Guo family who had imprisoned Duan Yintian on that isolated island. This time, not only will Guo Lily be in trouble, but also our Chongshan League's deputy leader Guo Qiu, and even the entire the Guo family will probably be in trouble too. As for betraying his deputy leader, Shenggan didn't feel any psychological pressure at all, because he knew that even if the alliance leader knew about this, the alliance leader would not be unhappy. After all, he was the one who saved the Chongshan alliance. If the powerful Hadao men came to the door on their own, would the Chongshan alliance still exist? As the leader of the Chongshan alliance, can he still survive? When the time comes, the alliance leader will definitely be very grateful to him. Coupled with the care of the 7th level Taoist in front of him and the favor of the Hadao level powerhouse, Shenggan will reach the pinnacle of his life from now on. "Master Zhaoani, when is it convenient for you to come with me?" Shenggan asked. Zhaoani pondered for a moment and said, "I will go to the royal family first to say hello to someone, and then I will come back and set off with you." There is no way. Now he is not only taking care of the people in Duan Mansion, but also his own people. There are many people here who need his care. When he leaves temporarily, he must say hello to the royal family and ask them to take care of them, his own people and the people of Duan Mansion. With the friendship between his Ling Tian brother and the powerful royal family, it was impossible for the powerful royal family to refuse this. Zhao went to the royal family. After saying hello, he asked directly if he wanted the royal family to send a strong person to accompany him. In the end, for the sake of safety along the way, Zhao was accompanied by a 7-level strongman from the royal family and went with him to the remote Shaoshan Island. When Sheng'an listened to Zhao Inya's introduction to the new faces around him, he was not too shocked. After all, he was also the son of a newly promoted Hadao strongman from Jianglan Divine Kingdom. It was very reasonable for the royal family to send a strong man to accompany him to pick him up. In this way, Sheng'an took Zhao back to Shaoshan Island. On the way, Sheng'an also told Zhao truthfully what happened to Duan Yintian there. Before Zhao could speak, the strong man from the royal family was already numb and took a breath of cold air. He didn't expect that there would be someone who could seek death to that extent. Even the only son of a strong man in the Tao realm would dare to provoke him like that. Waiting place step, it is simply asking for death. Zhao Inya's face turned completely gloomy. His eyes flashed with murderous intent, and he had already sentenced the Guo family father and daughter to death in his heart. Zhao led Sheng'an along the way. So the same journey took Sheng'an a long time to go to Jianglan Divine Kingdom, but it didn't take long to go back. Lord Zhao, in front of you is Shaoshan Divine Island. Shaoshan Divine Island, there used to be a strong Hadao master, but that strong Hadao passed away 3,000 years ago. Now the strongest ones on Shaoshan Divine Island are 2-bit in the existence of the 9 levels of the Tao. When he was about to arrive at Shaoshan Divine Island, Sheng'an introduced to Zhao, our Chongshan Alliance is just an ordinary force in the Dark Night Forest in the eastern region of Shaoshan Divine Island. The strongest leader is a being who has entered the 4th level of Taoism. As for the Deputy Alliance leader Guoqiu, he has only entered the 3rd level of Taoism. Soon, Shingon took Zhao directly to an isolated island near the Dark Night Forest on the coast. It was also a mining area occupied by the Chongshan League, and Duan Yintian was inside. Xue Ping saw Sheng'an bringing someone back, and the 2 people around Sheng'an gave him a feeling of extreme danger. He didn't even need Sheng'an to tell him. He had already guessed that what Duan Yintian said was true, and it was indeed that Jianglan God, the son of Guoxin Hadao. Xue Ping, take the 2 adults to see Master Yintian, Sheng'an urged. At the same time, the voice message reminded, these 2 are both strong men who have entered the 7th level. Entering the 7th floor? Hearing this, Sheng'an's heart trembled. With such a presence, looking at the entire Shaoshan Island, he was considered a giant. 2 adults, please come this way. Xue Ping did not dare to neglect and quickly took the 2 of them to find Duan Yintian. Yintian, do you still remember me? Zhao had met Duan Yintian before. Although he only met him once, he remembered him in his heart. Now he saw this man who was somewhat similar to his Lingtian brother again. Little guy. Of course he recognized the right person at a glance square. You are Uncle Zhao. Duan Yintian naturally remembers Zhao. After all, this was the most powerful 7th-level powerhouse of the Qingyun holy sect in the land outside the world. Haha, it's me. Zhao laughed. Don't worry, you are completely safe from now on. Uncle Zhao will take you home. As soon as these words came out, Duan Yintian looked excited and felt that his waist was completely straightened. Chapter 4699. Since Yu Luaha, the new owner of the creation chart, was indirectly rescued by Chen Mingho of the Wanshanshan family, Duan Lingtian followed the attraction of the creation chart to him and chased Yu Luaha several times. However, at every critical moment, Chen Mingho would take action to seize the combined power of infinite sword Dao, greatly reducing his strength, allowing Yu Luaha to escape again and again. Even, the most recent time, Yu Luaha the injury further recovered. Under Chen Mingho's tricks, Yu Luaha did not even choose to escape. Instead, he stayed and fought with him fiercely. In the end, it ended in a draw, and Yu Luaha also after confirming that he couldn't take down Duan Lingtian, he laughed arrogantly and walked away. Duan Lingtian, I advise you not to mess with me again. Otherwise, when I recover further from my injury next time, and with Chen Mingho's help from across the air, You will be doomed to be disgraced when you fight me." This time, Yu Luaha was very arrogant when he left, as if he was eager for Duan Lingtian to find him again. Duan Lingshan's face was naturally very ugly, because he knew that although the other party's words were unpleasant, they were true. The recent battles also made him realize that Yu Luaha's injuries were constantly recovering, and now he had recovered to the point where he could draw a tie with him who was beaten by Qin Mingho. Next time, as Yu Luaha recovers further from his injury, he will most likely be at a disadvantage if he continues to be overtaken by Qin Mingho. Watching Yu Luohe leave, Duan Lingtian did not pursue him because he knew that it would be useless to pursue him, and at most he would end up in a draw. Although I felt aggrieved and angry, there was nothing I could do about it. Qin Mingho. After coming to the world of gods and earth for nearly 100 years, Duan Lingtian felt unforgettable hatred for a person for the first time. The murderous intent in his eyes was hard to hide. This account, one day, I, Duan Lingtian, will make a good settlement with you Ichiban. In a flash, Duan Lingtian had disappeared from the spot. At the same time, in the distant Wanshan clan, Qin Mingho, who was fighting for the way, confirmed that Duan Lingtian did not continue to use the infinite power of swordsmanship and then stopped, with a sinister smile on his lips. Duan Lingtian, as long as I, Qin Mingho, are here, you can't even think about using the combined power of infinite sword Dao to your heart's content. At some point, an old figure appeared. He glanced at Qin Mingho and shook his head. If you do this, you will not only treat the symptoms but not the root cause. Even for you, you will kill 1,000 enemies and lose 800 to yourself. Today, you can steal Ling Tian's combined power. In the future, when you fight with others, he can also steal the power and affect you. The person coming is none other than the being of the Wanshan family who combines the three realms, Chen Jiuxiao. Grandpa, you don't have to persuade me on this matter. Qin Mingho shook his head and said, if I don't do this, my thoughts will not be clear, and it will be difficult to comprehend the third path to the 9th level, let alone combine the third path. Furthermore, Duan Lingtian came out of the world of creation and life, and is helpless in the world of gods and earth. He can only rely on himself for everything. If he is overtaken by me, he will definitely feel more frustrated than if I am overtaken by him. After all, I still have my grandfather as my backer. With you here, Grandpa, who dares to bully me? After talking about it, a look of pride appeared on Qin Mingho's face at the right time. Seeing this, Chen Jiuxiao said no more. When the news of Duan Lingshan's promotion to Hadao spread throughout most of the world of gods and earth, people who had a grudge against him from the original birth chart also received news one after another. Duan Lingtian was promoted to Hadao? During the recent period, although Lei Hong was still in Jianglan Divine Kingdom, he had been in seclusion and ignored what was going on outside the window. It was not until he left seclusion today that he heard that Duan Lingtian had been promoted to the Hadao realm a year ago. For a moment, his expression turned completely gloomy. Although he was no match for Duan Lingtian when he created the Lifespan world, and was even almost killed by Duan Lingtian and wasted his life-saving means, this did not affect his hatred for Duan Lingtian at all. He was not afraid of the other party, and even dreamed of taking revenge on Duan Lingtian in various ways. This was also the reason why he wanted to take action against Duan Mansion last time when Duan Lingtian was not in Duan Mansion. He knew that he was hardly Duan Lingshan's opponent and could only seek revenge in this way. Although he has always known in his heart that with Duan Lingshan's heaven-defying talent, even if they were exiled to the world of gods and earth together, it would be difficult for him to catch up with him. However, it did not mean that he did not want to chase him, close the distance with him, or even as for catching up with each other one day in the future. The world of Divine Land is huge, with many opportunities and adventures beyond ordinary people's imagination. Maybe one day he will get lucky and catch up with Duan Lingtian or even surpass Duan Lingtian by chance. But now, after learning that Duan Lingtian was promoted to Hadao, he felt despair deep in his heart. He felt that it was almost impossible for him to catch up with Duan Lingtian in this life. Under such circumstances, it is naturally impossible for him to be in a good mood. Therefore, Lei Hong found a restaurant and kept pouring himself alcohol, making himself like a drunkard. He drank for several days and nights before stopping. Finally, when he sobered up, he began to warn himself. From now on, unless you are completely sure, you cannot easily touch the people around Duan Lingtian. After all, Duan Lingtian is not what he used to be, and there may be some tricks left that can cause him to capsize in the gutter. Revenge must still be avenged. However, you need to be more cautious. Not only was Lei Hong depressed about Duan Lingtian's breakthrough, but also Yun Xinfeng, who was somewhere in the divine land world far away from Jianglan Divine Kingdom, was also the former Yun Qingyan. After learning that Duan Lingtian was promoted to Hadao, my face is also difficult look beyond compare. His luck is pretty good. After coming to the world of gods and earth, he has encountered many adventures, and now he has entered the 4th level of the Dao. Under this situation, he felt that the distance between him and Duan Lingtian was getting closer and closer, and he might not have the chance to kill Duan Lingtian with his own hands. After all, before this, he, who was outside the boundary, never dared to dream that he would still be able to kill Duan Lingtian. I can kill Duan Lingtian with my own hands because the gap is too big, and there is a forbidden calamity blocking the way. Even if an ordinary person can break through to the strongest level, at the 6th level, it is also difficult to enter the 7th level. After coming to the divine land world, he felt like a fish in water, and even felt that this was his blessed land. More than once, he has dreamed of coming to seek revenge on Duan Lingtian in person, trampling Duan Lingtian under his feet again, recreating the scenes when he trampled Duan Lingtian under his feet when he went to that secular plane. Even after stepping on it, he will not let Duan Lingtian go like he did in the past. This time he will kill Duan Lingtian completely to avoid future troubles. He still regretted the thought he had made at that time, raising a tiger for trouble, and he still regretted it when he thought about it. He wished he could be reborn and go back to that moment, where he killed Duan Lingtian completely regardless of his cousin Xia Ningxi's dissuasion. Now, after learning that Duan Lingtian had broken through and been promoted to the Hadao realm, Yun Xinfeng collapsed on the ground with a look of despair and helplessness on his face, and the confidence he had finally built collapsed. How to pursue this? Duan Lingtian has now been promoted to Hadao and has become one of the dozens of most powerful people in the world of gods and earth. Even if he has a chance to become a strong man in the Hadao realm in the future, it is unrealistic to catch up with Duan Lingtian and want to kill him. Moreover, he really has no confidence that he can succeed in Hadao and enter Hadao in his lifetime. Hadao is so difficult. Chapter 4700. Whether it was Lei Hong or Yun Xinfeng, Duan Lingtian naturally didn't know what they were thinking right now. Of course, the current Duan Lingtian has not noticed these two people for a long time. At most, he is a little defensive in his heart to avoid being taken advantage of by the other party to steal his home and hurt his relatives and friends. Although he has now become a strong man in the Hadao realm, he is too busy to take care of his family and friends at all times. The world of divine earth, unlike the world of creation and destiny, has the power of laws, which can condense the clones of laws. At first, when the world of creation and destiny collapsed and fell into the world of gods and earth, Duan Lingtian's clone of laws was annihilated and disappeared. Unless you can return to the creation life chart world again and sense the power of the law, you cannot condense the law clone again. Go back first. Duan Lingtian, who did not intend to continue chasing Yu Luaha, chose to go back to his wife's parents. After confirming that they were all safe and sound, he returned to Jianglan Divine Kingdom alone. Is there any news about Niantian? After learning from the royal family of Jianglan Kingdom that someone knew about his son Duan Yintian, and that Zhaoani had brought a royal family to the 7th level to pick up his son, Duan Lingtian's eyes brightened, and he also told Zhang Haishandao said thanks. Zhang Tianzheng, the powerful Taoist in the royal family, hardly cares about anything. Except for the contemporary emperor, the person in charge of the royal family is Jiang Haishan, who is on the 9th level of Taoism. Looking at the entire Shaoshan Divine Island, the Chongshan Alliance is just an insignificant small force. The Dark Night Forest, which is located in the coastal corner of the eastern region, cannot even be ranked among the top 3 among the many forces in the Dark Night Forest. If we say that the strongest force in Shaoshan Island is none other than the Shaoshan Dao sect, just by looking at the name, You can tell that this sect has the same name as Shaoshan Divine Island. In fact, the reason why Shaoshan Divine Island was renamed Shaoshan Divine Island was because of Shaoshan Dao sect. The Shaoshan Dao sect may not be the oldest force on the Shaoshan Island, but it is definitely the most powerful force. Just because, in the history of Shaoshan Dao sect, there have been 3 strong men in the He Dao realm. Even the last strong man in the He Dao realm on Shaoshan Island came from the Shaoshan Dao sect. Although there are no powerful people in the He Dao realm in the contemporary Shaoshan Dao sect, there are as many as 3 people who have entered the 9th level of the Dao. As for the 8th level of the Dao, there are more than 10 people. Of course, most of them are traveling outside to seek breakthroughs. Only one who has entered the 9th level and 3 who have entered the 8th level stay in the Shaoshan Dao sect. One of them, who entered the 8th level of Taoism, was named Yang Tianhe, and he was the great elder of Shaoshan Taoism. Now, he was frowning and looking at his son in front of him. Do you really want to marry her? With her status and background, she is not worthy of being your Taoist companion. Yang Tianhe looks like a middle-aged man, with a resolute face, tall body, and a hint of majesty in his movements. And his son Yang Chun, whose facial features are quite similar to his, has a hint of immaturity between his eyebrows. At this time, he is looking at Yang Tianhe seriously. Father, Yao Yao and I are. Love. Yang Tianhe smiled coldly. In my opinion, she has taken a fancy to your background, right? The person you love her may not necessarily be the one she loves. Yang Tianhe had many children in his life, but the one he loved most was the young son in front of him. His love for this young son even made other sons doubt whether they were his biological children. Father, Yao Yao doesn't know my identity, Yang Chun said seriously, even in front of her. I only showed the same level of cultivation as hers. Moreover, our meeting was purely a coincidence. Before Yang Tianhe could speak, Yang Chun begged, Father, please help the child. With your status, you don't need the child to marry anyone. Just let the child be with true love. Seeing this, Yang Tian's frown deepened, but he didn't say anything more and said calmly, Now, as a father, I am curious, what kind of woman is it that makes you obsessed with this? Take me with you. If your father thinks she's okay, then he can propose marriage to his family and choose a good day for you to marry her. Hearing this, Yang Chun was ecstatic. Thank you, father. Thank you, father. Yao Yao will definitely satisfy you. Let's go. Yang Tianhe stepped out, and in a blink of an eye he was already thousands of miles away from Shaoshan Dao sect, and his son was also taken with him. You said before that her home is in the East region? Yes, father. Yang Chun responded quickly. She is the second daughter of Guoqiu, the deputy leader of the Dark Knight Forest Chongshan Alliance in the Eastern region. Her name is Guo Yao Yao, and she has an older sister. It's a coincidence. When Yang Tianhe and Yang Chun, father and son, arrived at the Chongshan League and near the Guo Mansion, it happened that Shengyan was leading the way to the Guo Mansion for Zhaoani, Duan Yintian, and the 7th-level powerhouse from the royal family of the Jianglan Divine Kingdom to arrive at the Guo Mansion, and Zhaoani said Ru Hongzhong shouted coldly, Guoqiu, take your daughter and get out and die. Zhao Enya's voice, carrying terrifying power, vibrating and giving, swept through the Guo Mansion, making the entire Guo Mansion restless, and more than 90% of the people were in a state of panic. He was so shaken by the sound that he felt dizzy, and even had bleeding from all his orifices. He fell directly to the ground and died. After a moment, a pale-faced man with a beard came out of the air and looked at Zhao Ani in the distance. His eyes were full of fear, but he still had the courage to raise his hands and asked, My lord, I don't know how my daughter and I were offended you. Although Duan Yintian was standing next to Zhao Ani, Guoqiu did not know Duan Yintian because the two had never met before. Duan Yintian? However, at this moment, Guo Lily, a young woman with a good face and a slightly fat body, who was in the Guo Mansion, was pale and staring at Zhao Ani with shock and disbelief. Duan Yintian said, Why? Could it be him? Where did he find such a strong person? Is this your revenge on me? At this moment, Guo Lily's heart was full of regret. If she had known that this thought could lead to today's scene, she should have directly destroyed the opponent and eradicated it. Sister, do you know him? Next to Gua Lily was another beautiful woman who looked very similar to her, much prettier than her, and had a much stronger figure. Her face was also slightly pale at this time. The sound just now was so terrifying that it shocked her. Her eardrums were ruptured, and her meridians were almost disrupted while she was practicing. She is none other than Guo Qiu's second daughter, Gua Yao Yao. Yao Yao. At this time, Yang Chun, who had just arrived, also saw Gua Yao Yao. His eyes suddenly lit up, and he said to Yang Tianhe beside him, "Father, that is the person I like, Gua Yao Yao. It's better to come early than to come by chance. Now someone happens to be looking for trouble for my future father-in-law and future sister-in-law. Father, please come out to protect them. In this way, they will definitely treat me as my future uncle in a different light." Chapter 47:01. However, unlike his son Yang Chun's innocence, when Yang Tianhe looked at the person who was attacking the Gua family not far away, his eyes showed a bit of solemnity. This old man, and another middle-aged man beside him, stood there with their consciousness exposed. It was not difficult for him to confirm that both of them were 7th-level Tao existences. Although they were weaker than him, they had this level of cultivation. Definitely not ordinary people, at least. There is no existence of this level in the Eastern Dark Night Forest. In other words, these two people came from outside the Dark Night Forest. Shut up. Yang Tianhe scolded his son Yang Chun. You idiot. What else can you think of besides women? Two 7th-level Taoists came to the Gua family to cause trouble. There must be a reason. You can't even connect these two people. I don't even know his background. So I just thought it's so stupid to show off in front of that woman. Two people entering the 7th level? Yang Chun was frightened when he heard his father's words. He never expected that the people who came to the Gua family to cause trouble this time were actually two beings who had entered the 7th level. They were powerful beings second only to his father. Killing him would be as easy as trampling an ant to death. The other side. After learning the ins and outs of the matter from Duan Yintian, Guo Qiu's face turned pale. He never expected that his daughter would provoke someone with such a background. He actually didn't know about this. It was all done by his daughter alone. Two adults, this young master, I, Guo Qiu, did not know about this matter. It was all done by my daughter Gua Lily. I will bring her here and hand her over to you. After Guo Qiu finished speaking, he hurriedly brought his daughter Gua Lily over, and Gua Yao Yao also followed. Guo Qiu had many sons, but only 2 daughters, so he loved his 2 daughters the most. However, now that the eldest daughter has caused a huge disaster, he knows full well that he cannot save her. Rather than die together, it is better to send the eldest daughter out and hand it over to the other party, so that he may still be able to survive. Father, what are you doing? Gua Lily's face changed drastically, and her eyes looking at Duan Yintian were also filled with fear. If she had known that Duan Yintian had this background, she would not have dared to provoke him even if she was killed. Even if he provoked him, he would have definitely eradicated it long ago, so that the other party would not come to settle the score today. Just now, before her father Guo Qiu left, he had told her that the people who came were so powerful that they were even far superior to the leader of their Chongshan alliance. What does that mean? It means that the person coming is at least on the 5th level. If you have done something wrong, take responsibility for it yourself and don't involve your family. A hint of unbearability flashed deep in Guo Qiu's eyes, but it was quickly replaced by determination, and he gritted his teeth and said in a deep voice. When Gua Lily heard this, her pretty face turned pale, and her whole body trembled violently. Then she looked at Gua Yao Yao beside her and begged, Yao Yao, please save your sister. You must save your sister. Didn't you tell me before that you were here? The prospective Taoist companion found outside. Is he the son of the great elder of Shaoshan Taoist sect? The great elder of Shaoshan Dao sect is a person who has entered the 8th level of Taoism. Gua Yao Yao looked helpless. So what if her would-be Taoist companion had a background in the Shaoshan Taoist sect? No one is here. Moreover, the matter between the two of them may not be settled yet, and the other party's father still needs to make a decision. She herself felt that this matter might not be possible, because beings at that level would definitely value a good match. He and the other party's son may fall in love freely, and the other party may not support it. If not, She has no doubt about the other party's love. A son will choose his father, not him. This is the truth. In this world where the strong are respected, love between men and women is not worth mentioning in the face of a powerful backer. Snored. At this time, Yang Tianhe in the distance heard Gua Lily's words and couldn't help but glare at his son beside him. Didn't you say that Gua Yaoyao doesn't know your identity? Her sister clearly revealed your identity. Yang Chun was startled at first, then smiled awkwardly. Father, I told her later. She didn't know my identity and background when she first started dating me. At this moment, Gua Yaoyao in the distance was looking around anxiously, and suddenly she spotted Yang Chun. Her eyes brightened for a moment. Brother Chun? This time, Yang Chun couldn't pretend not to be there anymore. After saying hello to his father, Yukong approached. Yang Tianhe frowned slightly, fearing that his son would suffer a loss, so he followed him. Gua Lily, who was already in despair, couldn't help but look into the distance after hearing her sister's exclamation. When she saw the two people coming from the sky, a glimmer of light rose in the depths of her eyes, as if she had caught someone. Got the last one to save life? Straw asked. Is it my sister's quasi-Taoist companion, Yang Chun? The son of the great elder of Shaoshan Dao sect? The person behind him is his protector? At the same time, Guoqiu was also attracted by Yang Tianhe and Yang Chun, father and son. His second daughter found a quasi-Taoist companion outside with a different background. He knew about this, but he was not too excited because he knew that the other party's father might not like their family. There is a high probability that this will not happen. Yao Yao, this is my father. After Yang Chun came over, he introduced Gua Yaoyao and Yang Tianhe. Father, this is the Yao Yao I told you. I've met my uncle. While Gua Yaoyao's heart trembled, a light shone in her eyes, and she quickly saluted Yang Tianhe. Guoqiu was also frightened, and quickly bowed and saluted. Guoqiu, deputy leader of the Chongshan Alliance, has met Elder Yang. The famous existence was one that he could hardly see in the past. Even if he saw it, he would not dare to face it easily. The existence of vision. Gua Lily's face turned red with surprise. Not only her brother-in-law-to-be was here, but her father was also here. This is a super strong person who has entered the 8th level. She can be saved. She can be saved. For a moment, Gua Lily looked at Duan Yintian again. She was no longer frightened, but looked a little more joking. Her mood was ups and downs like a roller coaster. Now she sent a voice to challenge. Duan Yintian, even if you find me, so what if I have a backer? Is your backer as strong as mine? Do you know who is coming now? My soon-to-be brother-in-law and his father. His father is the great elder of the Shaoshan Dao sect, the #1 force in our Shaoshan Divine Island, and a super strong man who has entered the 8th level of Taoism. Hearing what the other party said, Duan Yintian couldn't help but frown. Entering the 8th floor? This is much better than Uncle Zhao and the royal family of Jianglan Divine Kingdom around him. If the two of them join forces, they may not be the opponent of the other. As for his father, although he is a strong man in Hadao, he is not present after all, so he may not be able to suppress the opponent just by his name. Chapter 4702. Brother Chun. Our family is in trouble. You must help me. Gua Yaoyao did not dare to say this in front of Yang Tianhe, so she could only say to Yang Chun via voice, since I was a child, my sister has taken great care of and loved me. I can't watch anything happen to her. Please, Brother Chun. Faced with Gua Yaoyao's pleading, Yang Chun had no resistance at all. He quickly begged his father to try to help Gua Yaoyao to see if he could save his sister. Although there are very powerful forces behind these two 7th-level Taoists, as long as the forces behind them are within the Shaoshan Island, they are still within the controllable range, because their Shaoshan Dao sect is the most powerful force on the Shaoshan Island. A strong force. He believed that as long as these two people were from Shaoshan Island, it would be easy for his father to ask for face. Yang Tianhe frowned. He really didn't want to get into this muddy water, but now his son was begging via voice, and it was for a woman. As a father, he really couldn't bear to break his son's heart. After all, this is his most beloved son. Both of you. Yang Tianhe finally stood up, looked at Zhaoani and the powerful Taoist from the royal family of Jianglan Kingdom beside Zhaoani, slightly raised his hands and said, I am the great elder of Shaoshan Dao sect, Yang Tianhe. How about you guys give me some face in this matter and reconcile with each other? As long as she lives, I, Yang Tianhe, owe you both a favor." When Yang Tianhe said this, although his tone was gentle, the consciousness of the 8th level of Taoism still swept out, faintly covering it up. The purpose of the spiritual consciousness that Zhaoani and the two released was naturally to let Zhaoani and the two know his strength. Enter the 8th level. Zhaoani frowned slightly. However, the 7th level Taoist master from the Jianglan Divine Kingdom royal family next to Zhaoani sneered. "Yang Tianhe, the great elder of Shaoshan Taoist sect? Do you know whose son is the young master Duan Yintian next to me?" Seeing that the other party was still so strong after knowing his own strength, Yang Tianhe was inexplicably shocked and at the same time subconsciously looked at Duan Yintian. Before Yang Tianhe could ask, the powerful royal family member of Jianglan Divine Kingdom sneered. "This young master Duan Yintian is the son of our Jianglan Divine Kingdom's newly promoted Hadao strongman, Mr. Duan Lingtian, and I am a member of the royal family of Jianglan Divine Kingdom. I am here on the orders of the powerful Hadao master of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, Lord Jiang Tianzheng, to welcome young master Duan Yintian back to Jianglan Divine Kingdom." When he said the first sentence, Yang Tian's expression actually changed drastically in an instant. Guoqiu, who originally thought his daughter was saved, turned pale. Duan Lingtian, the new Hadao powerhouse in Jianglan Divine Kingdom? To be honest, he just heard about this some time ago and knew that there was a new Hadao strongman from the Jianglan Divine Kingdom, known as the Reverse Divine Sword, and his full name was Duan Lingtian. No wonder when he heard Duan Nianshan's name just now, he felt that it sounded familiar. Duan Yintian was Duan Lingshan's son. It's over. Guoqiu knew that his eldest daughter Guolili was dead, let alone the great elder of the Shaoshan Dao sect. Even if the Shaoshan Dao sect devoted all its efforts, they might not be able to save her. Now, he felt panic again. He only hoped that the other party would only kill his daughter and not involve himself in the Guo mansion. Hadao strongman? Guo Yaoyao's pretty face changed, and Yang Chun on the side also looked panicked. She never expected that this matter would involve a strong Hadao man, and he was also the new Hadao from Jianglan Divine Kingdom. He had also heard of the new Hadao from the Jianglan Divine Kingdom, until he was an evil genius who came from the creation life plan world and was extremely talented. It is said that the other party only entered the 8th level of the Tao when he first arrived in their world of gods and earth decades ago. In less than 100 years, he entered the Hadao realm. Many people think that as long as he doesn't die young, he will definitely be able to join the third path and become the top powerhouse in the world of gods and earth before he dies. Of course, at this time, the powerful royal family of Jianglan Divine Kingdom stared at Yang Tianhe and continued. "You, Yang Tianhe, can also choose to take action against us. But, let alone you may not be able to keep both of us at the same time. Even if can you really keep us and destroy the corpses? Mieji, can you still kill everyone in Guo Mansion? As long as one person from Guo Mansion survives, what you did will be exposed. After all, the opportunity to tip off a powerful Hadao person and win their favor is something you don't come across all the time." After talking about it, he took another deep look at Yang Tianhe, and the warning in his eyes was clearly visible. In fact, even if he didn't say it, Yang Tianhe knew this very well. Thinking of the news about the new Hadao that came from Jianglan Divine Kingdom some time ago, Yang Tianhe quickly raised his hand and brought his son Yang Chun to him in a blink of an eye. Then he cupped his hands to Duan Yintian with an apologetic expression. "Master Duan, I didn't know that you were the son of Master Duan Lingtian before. I have offended you so much. I hope you can forgive me. I, Yang Tianhe and his son, will not interfere in today's matter again. How you want to deal with this Guo Mansion is up to you. Even if you need me to help, you can just say hello." Yang Tianhe is very self-aware. Although his Shaoshan Dao sect can also ask the Hadao realm experts to take action, after all, he is not a Hadao realm powerhouse in his own sect, so it is impossible for him to spare no effort for Shaoshan Dao sect. Moreover, even if there is a strong person in the Hadao realm in the contemporary Shaoshan Dao sect, it is unlikely that he would offend another strong person in the Hadao realm for his private affairs. Therefore, after learning that Duan Yintian was a strong man in the Hadao realm, He gave in and didn't feel ashamed at all. Naturally, Duan Yintian and the other three were very satisfied with Yang Taiyan's statement that those who know the current affairs are heroes. As for the Guo family, Guo Yaoyao's pretty face was pale. She thought she could help her sister Guo Lily, but she didn't expect that the person her sister provoked turned out to be the son of a strong man in the Hadao realm. Isn't this seeking death? At this moment, she felt completely powerless inside, knowing that there was no hope of saving her sister. As for Yang Chun's father Yang Taiyan's changing face, she didn't complain at all, because even if she put herself in the other person's shoes, she would make the same choice. I hope it won't involve me. Thinking of this, Guo Yaoyao quickly looked at Yang Chun again and said through a message, Brother Chun, not only have I not participated in what my sister did, I don't even know about it. Please ask my uncle to help me so that they will not vent their anger on you. Hearing this, Yang Chun looked at his father, only to find that his father's face was more solemn than ever. This was the first time he had seen his father like this since he was a child. For a moment, Yang Chun was silent. Chapter 4703. Although Yang Chun likes Guo Yaoyao and is willing to do something for her, it does not mean that he will pay for her without thinking. As for what happened today, if the other party really wants the Guo family to die in one piece, he really wants to his father intervened again, not to mention that his father might not be willing. Even if he was willing, he didn't want his father to offend a strong man in Hadao. That's a strong man. There is no such thing as Shaoshan Daozong in contemporary times. According to what his father said to him in the past, if the powerful Hadao really wants to take action against Shaoshan Dao sect, even if all the 8th level and 9th level Taoists who left Shaoshan Tao sect come back, it will still be of no avail, and they will still not be able to escape being captured. The ending where he kills him. Therefore, now that he received a message from Guo Yaoyao asking for help, he chose to remain silent and did not reply to her. As for what the other party would think if he was lucky enough to survive this time, he didn't care so much. At most, I can just change to another woman. After all, even if the other party can survive today, who can be sure that the son of this strong Hadao man will not suddenly regret it in the future and still want to kill Guo Yaoyao to eradicate the root cause? When that time comes, if he is still with the other party, he will definitely be implicated and dragged down. That's not what he wants. Guo Lily. Duan Yintian stepped out of the air, his eyes fell on Guo Lily, and a cruel smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. You and I have no enmity at all, but you are too arrogant and domineering, and you insist on being my enemy. Now Guo Lily's face was pale. Facing Duan Yintian, who looked like he wanted to settle a score with her, she quickly said, Duan Yintian, although I have done some things to you, haven't I done anything to embarrass you? If I really want to embarrass you, would I ask you to work as a supervisor on the mining island? If I really wanted to torture you, I would have destroyed your cultivation a long time ago and made you a slave in the mines. After hearing this, Duan Yintian smiled coldly. Guo Lily, I don't know what you think is your wishful thinking. You didn't kill me, you crippled me. You just wanted to make me suffer on the mine island, and you wanted me to change my mind, agree to be with you again. Shueping makes things difficult for me everywhere. Do you dare to say it's not your fault? He has hinted to me more than once. If I don't want to stay on mine island anymore, I just need to agree to your request. So, stop showing mercy in front of me. No matter what, Guo Lily will definitely die today. After the words fell, Duan Yintian took action boldly, the sword light raging all over his body, and then turned into a giant bright sword light, piercing the sky, bringing up a terrifying wave of energy, making the air seem to stand still for an instant, and then slashed towards Guo Lily. At the same time, Zhaoani and the 7th level of the imperial family of Jianglan Divine Kingdom also swept across the 4 directions with their spiritual consciousness, targeting Guo Qiu and the rest of the people in the Guo mansion. Even Yang Tianhe and his son are deliberately wary. Although Yang Taiyan's words sounded nice, who knew if he was talking one thing and doing the other behind his back, so he had to be careful. Faced with Duan Nianshan's thunder blow, it was naturally impossible for Guo Lily not to resist, but she suppressed by the invisible force that Zhao Ani swept out from the air. The power in his body seemed to be sealed and could not be mobilized at all. Can wait for death with a look of despair on his face. Am I really going to die? Are there no miracles? Gua Lily is getting more and more desperate. And as if God heard Gua Lily's inner call, there was a sudden explosion in the sky. Terrifying power shook the void, the clouds shattered, and then a figure fell from the sky, and a bright stream of light swept down from the sky. The meteor swept towards Duan Yintian. Not good dash. The expressions of Zhao Ani and the powerful royal family members changed greatly, and they all took action, but they could only barely block the terrifying offensive that swept down from the sky. Boom! The earth-shattering explosion spread, and then shock waves spread, and the terrifying air waves spread like a mushroom cloud. With only the remaining strength, Duan Nianshan's offensive was crushed. On Gua Lily's side, the suppression originated from Zhao Ani is gone. Gua Lily looked surprised. Enter the 8th level? Seeing that Zhao Ani and Zhao Ani were unable to withstand the attacker's attack when they joined forces, Yang Tian's eyes lit up and he knew that his chance to perform had come, so he quickly took action to help the two of them block the attacker's attack. Who are you? The powerful member of the royal family of the Jianglan Divine Kingdom glared at the visitor and roared sternly. I am a member of the royal family of the Jianglan Divine Kingdom, and behind me is Lord Jiang Tianzheng, a powerful member of the Hadao realm of the Jianglan Divine Kingdom. Do you know who you are attacking? This is the son of our Jianglan Divine Kingdom's new Hadao strongman, Master Duan Lingtian. Before the visitor could speak, Zhao Ani shook his head helplessly. It doesn't make much sense to tell him this. This is the enemy of my brother Lingtian. At the same time, Zhao Ani stared at the visitor with an unkind look, and there was a hint of sarcasm in the corner of his mouth. Laughing, Lei Hong, you are really getting better and better as you live. After all, you are also a super strong man who was famous in all the worlds, even in places outside the world. You and I, Lingtian, my brother has a grudge. If you have the means, you can seek revenge from him, but you are here to embarrass a child. I am ashamed of you. That's right. The person who came was none other than Lei Hong. After getting out of seclusion and learning about Duan Lingshan's promotion to Hadao, after being drunk for a few nights, under despair and pressure, Lei Hong took the crucial step and entered the 8th level of the Dao. He went to the capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, thinking that if Duan Lingtian was not around, he would take action against his family and friends. However, he learned that Duan Lingshan's close relatives and friends had been taken away by him. At this moment, he happened to meet Sheng'an going to the Duan mansion and told the remaining people in the Duan mansion that there was news about Duan Lingshan's son Duan Yintian. Therefore, he followed Zhao Ani and Sheng'an to Shaoshan Island. Zhao Ani, who was on the 8th level, followed him all the way, but Zhao Ani, who was on the 7th level, had no way of noticing. He was originally preparing to take action on Mine Island, but he heard that Duan Yintian actually wanted to seek revenge, so he thought of ruining Duan Nianshan's good deeds and then killing him when Duan Yintian was preparing to kill his enemy. The Oriole is behind. It's more fun this way. So, he took action at this time. Unexpectedly, there was an 8th level Taoist at the scene who stepped in to help Zhao Ani and the others. Who are you? Lei Hong stood in the void, looked directly at Yang Tianhe, and said in a cold voice, We are both on the 8th level of the Dao. I advise you not to interfere in my affairs, otherwise you will be my enemy, Lei Hong. He has been hiding all this time. Above the clouds, although they also saw Yang Tianhe and his son from a distance, they did not know their identities. Nor did they know that Yang Tianhe had entered the 8th level like him, and his strength was obviously still at his level. Newly promoted to the 8th level. When Zhao Ani and the two found it difficult to resist his offensive, they easily intervened to neutralize his methods. Chapter 4704. It was precisely because he had been promoted to the 8th level that Lei Hong dared to think about causing trouble for Duan Lingshan's family and friends. Otherwise, with his previous strength at the 7th level, the Yushao in Duan Mansion and Zhao Ani in Qingyun Mansion would have been enough. Join forces to defeat him repel. The last time he went to the capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, he certainly didn't go there to defeat these two people and avenge his shame. Because he knew that after Duan Lingtian was promoted to the Hadao realm, he must have gained the deep friendship from the royal family of the Jianglan Kingdom. Otherwise the Duan Mansion and the Qingyun Mansion would not have moved to the capital of the Jianglan Kingdom. Duan Lingtian must have greeted the strong men from the royal family of Jianglan Kingdom. If he takes action against Xiao and the two, it will inevitably attract the intervention of powerful people from the royal family, and then he may really stay there forever. His plan was to assassinate. With his 8th level Dao strength, as long as there are no beings above the 8th level Dao in Duan Mansion and Qingyun Mansion, it will not be difficult for him to kill anyone. He can kill Yu Xiao, Zhaoani, and the powerful royal family members before they react. Kill it. However, what he didn't expect was that Duan Lingshan's family and friends would all be moved. Finally got the news about Duan Lingshan's son Duan Yintian. He followed him. He thought he was sure of success, but he didn't expect that when he was overwhelming Zhaoani and another 7th level Taoist, an 8th level Taoist suddenly appeared. Lair, intervene and defeat his offensive. Although it was only a brief confrontation, he could clearly sense that the other party was stronger than himself. So what if I'm your enemy? Facing Lei Hong's threat, Yang Tianhe smiled coldly and forcefully. It was completely different from the politeness he showed in front of Duan Yintian before, as if they were two completely different people. And all this was naturally because he had just received a message from Zhaoani. Elder Yang, this man's name is Lei Hong. He was my brother Lingshan's enemy when he created the world of Mingpan. Today, I ask you to help repel him and help my nephew Yintian back to the river. Lanshan Kingdom, this favor. They'll take the debt first on behalf of my brother Ling Tian. Zhaoani did this because he was naturally worried that Yang Tianhe would only intervene briefly and then ignore them. He never expected that Lei Hong would break through and enter the 8th level of the Dao. In this way, he and the powerful royal family are no match for Lei Hong. It is almost impossible to keep Duan Yintian. Fortunately, there was a strong man on the 8th level who was not weaker than Lei Hong. In order to draw the opponent to his camp, he directly sent a message to the opponent to tell him the details of Lei Hong. The implication was that Lei Hong came from the creation world. There is no backer in the divine earth world. And if you help deal with Lei Hong, the other party will be able to gain the favor of a strong Hadao man. Which one is more important? Zhaoani believes that Yang Tianhe will make a choice. Lei Hong, as long as I, Yang Tianhe, are here today, you can never hurt this little brother. Yang Tianhe ducked and arrived in front of Duan Yintian, protecting him behind him. Although Duan Yintian knew that the other party must have done this for the sake of his father, he still thanked him quickly and secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, this 8th level Taoist was here, otherwise he might not have done it today. Really dead here. Who would have thought that Lei Hong, his father's former enemy, would actually step into the 8th level of the Tao after coming to the world of the gods? Moreover, it happened to appear here. No need to guess. He could also imagine that the other party must have followed Zhaoani and the others. Then let me see what you can do. Lei Hong roared loudly, like a beast roaring. The air around his body vibrated in an instant and exploded with terrifying power, setting off billowing air waves, as if a mushroom cloud was rising. Then his whole body was as excited as a cannonball. Shoot down. Boom. When the thunderstorm exploded at full speed, the air exploded wherever it passed, shaking the earth and the earth. Seeing this, Yang Tian's face darkened, his strength trembled, and he was ready to take action in an instant to face this Lei Hong. However, the scene that happened next moment made Yang Tianhe couldn't help but be stunned for a moment. But when he, Zhaoani, and the powerful royal family were all preparing to take action, Lei Hong, who was shooting down, actually made a turn and rushed towards Guilili, and then took her towards the distance to break through the air. It was obvious that it's a sound coming from the east and attacking from the west, and he has no intention of fighting Yang Tianhe. For a moment, Yang Tianhe couldn't help but became angry. Damn it! How dare you tease me? Without any hesitation, Yang Tianhe chased after him. However, because Lei Hong had already had a plan and set off first, even if Yang Tianhe was a little faster, Lei Hong still escaped and disappeared under Yang Tian's divine consciousness. No trace. When Yang Tianhe came back, his face was still very ugly. At the same time, he raised his hands to Duan Yintian and said, Master Duan, it was me, Yang Tianhe, who was too careless and allowed Lei Hong to rescue your enemy. It's okay, Elder Yang. Duan Yintian shook his head and said, compared to my enemy being taken away, I am lucky to be alive today. Next, for the sake of Yang Tianhe, it was confirmed that Guo Qiu and Guo Yaoyao were against Guo Lili for targeting him. After being unaware of the matter and not participating in it, Duan Yintian did not implicate them after all. After all, Yang Tianhe saved his life today. Zhaoani told him that if Yang Tianhe was not there, it would be difficult to protect him. Master Duan, in fact, the matter between my son and Guo Yaoyao has not been settled at all, and I have not agreed to this marriage. You don't have to let her go for my sake. Yang Tianhe was a little anxious, fearing that the other party would just return the life-saving grace. This favor is of no use to him. What he cares more about is the favor of Duan Lingtian, the powerful Hadao man. Duan Yintian has been outside for many years. Although his strength is still average, he is very clear about the world of people. Don't worry, Elder Yang. I will inform my father about this and let him know that you saved my life. I hope that in the future he can do whatever he can to help you. When Yang Tianhe heard this, his face suddenly brightened. Thank you, Master Duan. Afterwards, Yang Tianhe took his son and escorted Duan Yintian to Jianglan Divine Kingdom. After returning to Jianglan Divine Kingdom, he naturally saw Duan Lingtian, who had been waiting there for a long time. Looking at the stalwart figure not far away and the familiar handsome face, Duan Yintian rushed forward with excitement. Father, looking at his son who was hugging him tightly and whose height was the same as his own, Duan Lingtian reached out and patted his shoulder. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. I will send you to your mother later. Your mother will be very happy. She has been talking about you for a long time and has been worried about your safety. As Duan Lingtian spoke, he looked at the unfamiliar faces standing with Zhaoani not far away and asked curiously, Brother Zhao, who are these for? Chapter 4705. After returning to Jianglan Divine Kingdom, the 7th-level member of the royal family immediately returned to the royal family and resumed his life. The 4 people around Zhaoani were Yang Tianhe and his son, as well as Sheng'an and Shui Ping, the 2 people who helped Duan Yintian recognize his relatives. The main reason why the 2 came with them was to leave the Chongshan alliance and join the royal family of Jianglan Divine Kingdom. This was what Zhaoani had promised them, and Zhaoani was confident that with his own face, the royal family would not refuse to accept them and give them a good job. Of course, Zhaoani knew very well that the reason why the royal family was so polite to him, a 7th-level cultivator, was mostly because of Duan Lingtian. However, although Zhaoani could make arrangements for Sheng'an and Shui Ping, they still wanted to visit Duan Lingtian first after learning that Duan Lingtian happened to be in the Duan mansion. Brother Lingtian, this. Faced with Duan Lingshan's inquiry, Zhaoani introduced the 4 people one by one. Especially when introducing Yang Tianhe, he bluntly said that Yang Tianhe had been a great help. Otherwise this time, even if he and another royal family were raped, even if the enemy takes action, it will be difficult to defeat. Duan Yintian was brought back intact. After learning the ins and outs of the matter, Duan Lingshan's expression darkened. He didn't expect that Lei Hong would actually step into the 8th level of the Dao, and this time his son almost failed to return. Elder Yang. Duan Lingtian looked at Yang Tianhe. His handsome face and warm smile made people feel like spring breeze, but it made the latter a little flattered. After all, the other person stood at the pinnacle of the world of gods and earth, a genuine Hadao. Strong. Master Duan Lingtian, just call me Yang Tianhe. Yang Tianhe spoke in fear, lowered his head and bowed in salute. I'll call you Lao Yang. Duan Lingtian stepped forward and patted Yang Tianhe on the shoulder. I, Duan Lingtian, only have a son. It's really hard to imagine how sad I would be if something happened to him. It's his mother. My wife must also be there. It's heartbreaking. I, Duan Lingtian, owe you a big favor. In the future, if you ask for anything, as long as I can do it and it doesn't violate my principles, I can grant it to you. Duan Lingshan's words can be said to be very accurate. After all, the other party saved his son's life, which is equivalent to a huge kindness. Hearing this, Yang Tian's face turned red. Master Duan Lingtian, you're welcome. Duan Lingtian patted the other party's shoulder again. In the next period of time, you can stay in Jianglan Divine Kingdom for a while to see if have you thought about what you want me to do. If you haven't thought about it yet, when you need me in the future, It's okay to come to Duan's house and say hello. By the way, you can take a stroll here and feel the customs here. Having said this, he looked at Zhaoani again. Old Zhao, I will leave it to you to entertain Lao Yang. Rest assured. Zhaoani smiled and nodded. I will make Elder Yang feel at home. Immediately afterwards, Duan Lingtian exchanged a few words with Shui Ping and Sheng'an, and the two couldn't help but feel flattered. When Duan Lingtian asked them if they needed help with anything, when they arrived, they bluntly said that Zhaoani had already helped them solve the problem. Hearing this, Duan Lingtian said nothing more. Yang Chun, I have met Lord Duan Lingtian. From behind, Yang Chun also came forward excitedly and saluted Duan Lingtian respectfully. Before Duan Lingtian could respond, Yang Tianhe looked at his son and said, Master Duan Lingtian, I have already thought about what I want to ask you for. After nodding kindly to Yang Chun, Duan Lingtian couldn't help but be startled when he looked at Yang Tianhe again. Old Yang, have you thought of it so quickly? Tell me, what's the matter? Although he felt that Yang Tianhe was a little careless and did not take his favor to heart, Duan Lingtian still respected the other party's wishes and was also curious about what kind of favor he wanted. Before Yang Tianhe could speak, Zhaoani frowned and said, Elder Yang, Brother Lingtian is now a strong man in the Hadao realm. You'd better be cautious when dealing with favors from a strong man of this level. He also felt that Yang Tianhe was too reckless. Is this really the great elder of the Shaoshan Dao sect, the strongest force on Shaoshan Island? Why do you look like a dumbass? Yang Tianhe smiled and said, I've thought about it. Lord Duan Lingtian, what I want to ask of you is, I hope you can accept my son as your disciple. This short sentence made everyone, including Duan Lingtian, stunned. In the end, the person involved, Yang Chun, was the first to come to his senses. His eyes were shining and his face was full of anticipation. If he can become the disciple of this powerful man in the Hadao realm, who will dare to mess with him in the future? However, he was not happy for long. After Duan Lingtian came to his senses, he shook his head and said with a bitter smile, Old Yang, logically speaking, your request is really not difficult. However, there are some things that I still need to explain to you clearly in advance. I was promoted to Hadao, and the way I combined was the infinite sword way. You must have heard that in the world of gods and earth, there are existences that combine infinite swordsmanship. Speaking of this, he glanced at Yang Tianhe. As soon as these words came out, Duan Lingtian didn't need to say anything. Yang Tian's face changed slightly. Infinite sword Dao? Master Duan Lingtian, are you kidding me? Although he knew about Duan Lingshan's promotion to Hadao, he only heard about it through hearsay, and he didn't know what Duan Lingshan's Hadao was. Now, when he heard Duan Lingtian say that he combined the Tao with infinite swordsmanship, the first thing he thought of was the Wanshan Chen clan. The Chen family of Wanshan is a double master. One of the beings who combines the three ways is different. He is one of the top existences among the powerful ones in the world of gods and earth. The other Hadao is the existence of Hadao with the infinite sword. In the world of gods and earth, living in the same era and contracting the same Tao is undoubtedly a big taboo. However, when he thought about it, he thought that Duan Lingtian came from the world of creation and destiny. Since the other party was able to merge with the Tao so quickly, it meant that before living in the world of gods and earth, the two strongest Tao that the other party had understood were the infinite Tao and swordsmanship. In this case, it is natural to combine infinite swordsmanship. In addition, seeing Yang Tian's expression change, Duan Lingtian continued, the two Hadao members of the Wanshanshan family have come to Jianglan Divine Kingdom some time ago and want to cause trouble for me. Because of this, I have already put those closest to you around you. My relatives and friends were moved away and arranged in a place that only I knew, because I was worried that the Chen family in Wanshan would attack them because they did not respect martial ethics. Although I can also kill other members of the Wanshanshan family to take revenge on them. But once tragedy occurs, what's the point? Chapter 4706. Although he didn't quite understand some of his father's words, when Duan Yintian learned that his mother could only be hidden by his father, he still realized that although his father had now entered the Hadao realm, in God the Earth world is not without its crises. Moreover, this crisis obviously does not come from the enemies from outside the world in the past, such as Lei Hong, Yunqingyan and others. But they are the aborigines from the world of the gods, a superfamily with two powerful men in the Hadao realm. I've made everything clear to you. Duan Lingtian looked at Yang Tianhe and said calmly, as for how to choose, it is entirely up to you. And now Yang Tianhe, although he is a strong man at the 8th level of Taoism, usually his face does not change even when Mount Taishan collapses in front of him, but his expression at this moment is different. Still slightly embarrassed, he forced a smile and said, Master Duan Lingtian, thank you for telling me this. If in this case, it is indeed inappropriate. After all, I am not alone. Behind me is the Shaoshan Dao sect. The Shaoshan Taoist sect is also afraid of being targeted by the Wanshan family, Yang Tianhe said. Yang Chun on the side was also frightened into a cold sweat. Be obedient. Wanshan family? That is considered to be one of the top forces in the world of eyes and earth. Without his father's reminder, he knew that he could no longer worship this master. Just like that, a farce ended. If you want any favors later, you should think about it carefully. Duan Lingtian nodded to Yang Tianhe, and then looked at Zhaoani aside. Old Zhao, please make arrangements for Lao Yang and his son. Nian Tian and his son and I have not seen each other for many years, and we still have a lot of private things to say. Upon hearing this, Zhaoani quickly took Yang Tianhe and his son away. During this process, Yang Tianhe also apologized to Duan Lingtian repeatedly, but Duan Lingtian didn't care, because if he were Yang Tianhe, he would have made the same choice. After all, the Wanshan family is not a good person. Even if he is a strong person in the Hadao realm, there is nothing he can do about it for the time being. After all, they also have the Hadao realm, and there are two of them. One of them is a being who combines the three ways. After Zhaoani took the people away, only Duan Lingtian and his son were left for a while. Duan Yintian couldn't help but asked with a worried look, Father, what did you mean just now? I heard half understanding, tell me about it. Also, where's my mother? I miss her. I want to see her. Duan Lingtian smiled and said, Yintian, don't worry, Father will tell you slowly. As for your mother, I will take you to see her now, and I will tell you while I am on my way. As soon as he finished speaking, Duan Lingtian took his son and set off. On the way, after Duan Yintian learned the ins and outs of the matter from his father, his face was not very good. Father, isn't the Wanshan family a little too domineering? Father, you didn't mean it. You come from the creation life world. In the past, you didn't even know the existence of the divine land world, let alone Hadao. Now, you actually plan to come to you for trouble. Isn't this just looking for trouble? What do they want to do? Is it possible that I want you, Father, to abolish your own way? It's ridiculous. Duan Yintian became angrier as he talked. It's because I don't have the strength. Otherwise, I would definitely vent my anger on you, Father. Hearing this, Duan Lingtian smiled. It was not easy for his son to have the strength to vent his anger for him. He had to at least enter the Hadao, and his son was not even a Taoist now. Soon, Duan Lingtian took his son to his family. His wife Li Fei was naturally extremely happy when she saw her son. Father Duan Rufeng, Mother Li Ro and others were also very happy, and they all circled around Duan Yintian. Yintian, you are dark, but you are also a lot stronger. Brother, you are finally back. Yintian, it'll be good if you come back. It'll be good if you come back. Duan Lingtian stood in the distance, looking at his son surrounded by stars like a moon, with a smile on his face. And at the same time, a figure also entered Jianglan Divine Kingdom from outside the north of Jianglan Divine Kingdom. In the blink of an eye, it has been decades since I came to this world of gods and earth. Xiaotian has stepped into the realm of Hadao, and now I have also stepped into the 9th level of Taoism. Feng Qingyang Yukong went to Jianglan Divine Kingdom, his face with a bit of emotion. He said, I really didn't expect that the law of time that had ceased to work after I came to the world of gods and earth. After I went to that place, I actually realized something and successfully changed it. It turned into the way of time. My Dzogchen law of time has been transformed into 7, 7, and 88, and I have reached the 6th level. The reason why his swordsmanship can reach the 9th level so quickly this time is also related to his mastery of the way of time. Because, in the past, his swordsmanship was greatly affected by the law of time. After coming to this world, without the law of time as a basis, although his swordsmanship did not deteriorate, it lost a bit of spirit. Now he has mastered it. The way of time. The way of swordsmanship is once again given a trace of time attribute, making rapid progress. A few days ago, his swordsmanship successfully entered the 9th level, and he also naturally advanced to the 9th level. Find Xiao Tian and tell him about this. If his space law can be transformed into the way of space, his strength will definitely be further improved. By then, the third path he has combined can be the way of space way. In the world of gods and earth, there is also the way of space. Now, he can master the way of time and can continue to understand the law of time in the past. How can it be impossible for his disciple Duan Lingtian to master the way of space? Although he was outside, Feng Qingyang heard the news of Duan Lingshan's promotion to Hadao clearly. He also knew that Duan Lingshan's Duan Mansion had moved to the capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, so he went directly to Duan Mansion, the capital of the country. However, after arriving at Duan Mansion, they found that Duan Lingtian was not there. In fact, even Yu Xiao, whom he didn't really want to see, was not there. Therefore, he could only go to Qingyun Mansion next door to find Zhao Ani. Fellow Taoist Zhao. Feng Qingyang's return also surprised Zhao Ani. After learning that the other party came back to find Duan Lingtian, he bluntly said that Duan Lingtian was still in the Duan Mansion half a day ago. If he is not here now, he probably took his newly returned son with him. Try to find family and friends. Have you found Yin Tian? Hearing that Duan Lingshan's son had been found, Feng Qingyang's eyes lit up. He still liked that clever disciple. He was living outside. He had worried about his safety more than once. Now that he knew that the other party come back, he also breathed a sigh of relief. Why are you leaving? Feng Qingyang asked. When he learned the ins and outs of the matter from Zhao Ani, his face gradually darkened. Wanshanshan family? Chapter 4707. Feng Qingyang had heard about some things about Duan Lingtian, such as his promotion to Hadao. However, Feng Qingyang did not know that Duan Lingtian was targeted by 2 Hadao masters from the Wanshanshan family. Although he had heard it said before that there were people in the world of gods and earth who had also combined the infinite sword way, but he doesn't think that's the case. The method is completely coincidental. Moreover, he feels that since his disciple Duan Lingtian has become a Hadao, even if the other party is a little dissatisfied, it should not be a problem. But he didn't expect that he would come to his door and want to settle a score with his disciple. This is a bit much. For a moment, Feng Qingyang's eyes also shone with an icy cold light. With the foundation of the laws of time and the great perfection that I laid down in the world of creation life plan, my way of time will soon be able to step into the 7th level, and then all the way go up quickly. The 9th floor should not take too long. At least, it's much faster than the other way I comprehended before. Using the way of time and the way of swordsmanship, it will be more efficient and faster. It can be said that before mastering the way of time, Feng Qingyang still had doubts about whether he could combine the way, but now his confidence has greatly increased, and he feels that with his swordsmanship and the way of time, he may not be unable to combine the way. Now, he just wants to find his disciple Duan Lingtian and take him to that mysterious place to see if he can restart the law of space in disguise and master the way of space under the environment there. If possible, with the other party's attainments in the way of space, he will soon be able to advance the way of space to the 9th level. Coupled with the already profound Tao of control, with the current age of his disciples, it is impossible to become the first contemporary person in the world of gods and earth, and the second person in the history of the world of gods and earth to combine the 4 ways. And Lei Hong? He almost killed Yin Tian? After learning what Lei Hong had done from Zhao Enyas' mouth, Feng Qingyang's eyes almost overflowed with murderous intent. With a look of frost on his face, then Lei Hong was promoted to the 8th level of the Tao, and then he drifted away? Don't let me catch the chance, otherwise he will definitely die. Now that he has entered the 9th level, he doesn't care if he kills Lei Hong, who has entered the 8th level. He has even mastered the way of time, and is sure to keep the opponent. If I also advance to Hadao, even if Xiaotian and I are both Hadao existences, it won't be difficult to surround and kill Chen Mingho. Feng Qingyang is still very confident about the way of time, and it has a control effect, can lock onto the void where the opponent is and slightly affect the time there, although there is no Dzogchen realm time law in the creation life chart. An exaggeration, but definitely not to be underestimated. Fellow Taoist Feng, what are your plans next? Are you waiting here for Brother Lingtian? Zhaoani asked. Feng Qingyang nodded. He'll wait here for Xiaodian to come back. I have something urgent to look for him. He had no choice but to wait and wait for his disciple Duan Lingtian to come back. After all, he didn't know where he was now, and in this world of gods and earth, there is no way to carry out remote transmission like the creation world. For news, we can only wait in the most primitive way. Feng Qingyang didn't wait too long, because Duan Lingtian has nothing else to do for the time being. Apart from spending time with his family, he spends more time comprehending the way of control, preparing to promote him to the 9th level as soon as possible, and then integrate into the infinite sword Tao, allowing him to become a strong man who combines the 3 ways. When that time comes, the conflict between him and Chen Mingho will naturally be gone. However, even if the opponent still cannot be killed because there is a strong man from the 3 ways protecting him, it is still necessary to torture the opponent to vent his anger. Of course, for him, after the 3 paths are combined, the most important thing is to kill Yu Luaha and take back the creation chart. He could see that his relatives and friends were not used to life in the world of gods and earth, and they would be more willing to go back to their hometown if they could. Even for himself. In the world of the creation life chart, he can have multiple law avatars, and he can use the law avatars to accompany his family and practice cultivation. Wouldn't it be fun? The most important is, in the creation chart world, one can live forever. As for the so-called 1,000 years of heavenly tribulation and 10,000 years of heavenly tribulation rules in the creation life chart world, as far as he knows, they can all be changed by the owner of the creation life chart, otherwise there will be no historical barrier for the old man Kong Kong. In the previous era, the rules were it won't be different from his time. In addition to spending time with his family and practicing, Duan Lingtian plans to return to Duan Mansion in Jianglan Divine Kingdom after a while to see if any of his family or friends have returned. But unexpectedly, he had the unexpected joy of meeting his master who was waiting for him, Feng Qingyang. Master, are you back? Duan Ling was pleasantly surprised. He didn't expect that his master was back, and with his cultivation at the Hadao realm, it was not difficult to find out in the next moment that his master's current cultivation was, also. You have actually been promoted to the 9th level? So fast? He is worthy of being his guide in the way of swordsmanship. His master's attainments in the way of swordsmanship make it really difficult for him to catch up with him if he doesn't get the old man Wukong's memory trick. There were some adventures, Feng Qingyang said with a smile, and this is why I came back to you in a hurry. Immediately afterwards, he told about his adventure, which made Duan Lingshan's eyes brighten. Even if he was promoted to Hadao, now he was still a little excited at the time. You mean, the understanding of the law of time can transform on the path of time? What on earth is that place? Is it so weird? Master, take me over and have a look. Duan Lingtian is now a little impatient. If he can master the way of space, and can also use the understanding of the law of space, he can also quickly improve the Tao of space. Maybe he can overtake Palm the way of control first steps into the 9th level. Good. Feng Qingyang nodded, understanding Duan Lingshan's mood and taking him off immediately. On the way, Feng Qingyang asked about Wan Shanchen. Chen Mingho from the Wan Shanchen family intervened many times to prevent me from killing Na Yulyuo. Duan Lingshan's eyes flashed coldly and he said in a deep voice, Yulyuo? Feng Qingyang was startled. Isn't that the owner of the creation life chart? It was also the way of heaven inside when we were still there. It's him. Duan Lingtian nodded. How did you find him? Feng Qingyang was surprised. He didn't expect that his disciples could actually find those powerful Hadao men in the world of gods and earth who even dreamed of finding and killing Yu Luaha who had taken the creation life plan. Duan Lingtian said, After I stepped into the Hadao realm, I found that I had some connections with the creation life chart. I think it was because I was the life born in it, so I was promoted to Hadao. After the life level was sublimated, I had a relationship with it. There was some strange feeling. Chapter 4708. Hearing Duan Lingshan's words, Feng Qingyang's eyes brightened, and then she said with surprise on her face, "Is there such a good thing?" Of course he knows what this means. This means that his disciple can find the creation life chart at any time in the future. As long as he has the ability to kill Yu Luo He, or seriously injure Yu Luo He and steal the creation life chart from his opponent, then he will be able to become the successor of the creation life chart. A new master people. When that time comes, people like them who have been exiled to the world of the gods, and the world outside the boundary, and the world may be able to go back. Although he didn't feel anything wrong with staying in the divine land world, he still felt that he was more accustomed to staying in the nirvana heaven. Maybe it was because he had stayed there the longest in the past, or maybe he was really older, gone, old, began to miss old times, and prepare to retire. Yeah, I didn't expect that either. Duan Lingtian nodded. Then a cold light flashed in his eyes, and he sighed. Actually, when I first found Yu Luaha, his injuries were still very serious. At that time, I was 90% the above certain he can kill him, but because I deliberately blocked the way for Qin Minghe, which affected my performance, so I couldn't take advantage of that opportunity to kill him. After that, I went to find Yu Luaha again, and his injuries recovered better every time. Because Chen Minghe kept interfering with me and took action, Yuo has recovered to the point where he is not afraid of me. After hearing what Duan Lingtian said, Feng Qingyang's face was gloomy, his eyes were cold, and he chose people to devour. Qin Minghe? He kind of remembered this person. With the speed of the two of them, Feng Qingyang soon brought Duan Lingtian to the place where he encountered the adventure. It was a dangerous place that even the 7th level of entry would not dare to enter. There were various unstable storms and turmoil inside. Time when there are storms, space storms, and terrible storms of various elements. After I went deep inside, under the pressure of the time storm, I understood the way of time. After enlightenment, I found that my past understanding of the law of time came in handy and fit perfectly with it. The path between time is advancing by leaps and bounds. You try to, Feng Qingyang said to Duan Lingtian. At this time, the two of them were bathing in this forbidden area called the Abyss of Violence. Even if the storm shook them, it had no effect on them. When I first came here, I only entered the 8th level, and it was quite stressful. It wasn't until I was promoted to the 9th level that I could roam freely here. My way of time was gained through the process of feeling the storm of time here, because there is also a space storm here. I think it is possible for you to master the way of space. Wherever Feng Qingyang looked, the storm was raging, sometimes oscillating, sometimes stagnant, but with strange fluctuations. It was the time storm. As for the space storm, it has a sense of tearing, causing the void within sight to fold and create waves like ripples. It seems that the secret of the law of space is revealed when the world is created. Almost many. After hearing what his master said, Duan Lingshan's eyes lit up, and then he began to wander around the abyss of violence. At the same time, he deliberately relaxed his mind and sensed the space storm here. Feng Qingyang followed closely, while continuing to integrate the past understanding of the law of time into the way of time, while watching the expression changes on his disciple's face. Time passed quietly. In the blink of an eye, 13 years have passed. On this day, Feng Qingyang, who was sitting cross-legged in the distance and meditating on the way of time, suddenly noticed a cold space fluctuation coming from a distance. When he opened his eyes, he saw that the person coming was his disciple Duan Lingtian. At that time, the space storm of the violent abyss not only did not impact him, but even continued to swim around him, like fish surrounding a person entering the water. Success? Feng Qingyang's eyes lit up and she couldn't help but ask. Yes. Duan Lingtian nodded, with a bright smile on his face. After 13 years, he finally understood the way of space through the space storm here. The understanding of the laws of space in the past has become the key to this Tao of space. The help is indeed, it's really big. I just realized it, and it's the 3rd level. Duan Lingtian felt that with his way of space, he might have a chance to surpass the progress of the way of control. In the way of control, he mostly followed the old path of old man Wukong. In fact, the road he took was still very short. If he wanted to go further, he would have no clue unless he could get a combination that contained the way of control. Taoist monument. But the Hadao monument is a treasure in the hands of any Hadao force. Basically, there are no idle ones, and they are all used by people to understand the Tao contained in it. He was able to observe the Hadao monument of Jianglan Divine Kingdom in the first place because he contributed to Jianglan Divine Kingdom and obtained the Hadao monument from Kuhai Temple. In that fight for the Hadao monument, he could be said to be the main force. To put it bluntly, without him, let alone getting another Hadao stele, the original Hadao stele from Jianglan Divine Kingdom would have to be sent to the Kuhai Temple. Although the Yongye divine monk from the Kuhai Temple didn't say anything later, but occasionally, he could still clearly detect the sadness deep in the other party's eyes, as if he helped Jianglan Divine Kingdom away the other party's most beloved concubine. General, Master, go back. Duan Lingtian looked at Feng Qingyang. Now that I have understood the way of space, there is not much point in staying here. In addition, I have observed that in this violent abyss, in addition to time storms and space storms, among the many storms, there are actually life storms and death storms, but there are no elemental storms. That is to say, anyone who understands the four supreme laws in the creation life chart world will have the opportunity to understand the corresponding laws as long as they can enter here. The way of life, the way of death. Among the close relatives around me, there are some who have understood the four supreme laws in the past, but without the strength above the 8th level, there is no way to stay here for a long time, let alone comprehend the corresponding ways of the four supreme laws here. Speaking of what happened later, Duan Lingtian couldn't help but sigh. What surprised both Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang was that when they returned to Jianglan Divine Kingdom after 13 years, they actually met Xue Qingzhu. She was still as gorgeous as ever, standing there with a coldness on her delicate cheeks and an aura that was out of the ordinary, like a fairy in the sky, as if it would be blasphemy to look at her more than once. Master's wife? Duan Lingtian was a little surprised. At the same time, he looked at Master Feng Qingyang next to him. He saw that Master's slightly frowning brows had finally relaxed. He smiled knowingly, and then retreated wisely, leaving some space. This pair has a Taoist couple I haven't seen for 100 years. Although the return of Master Xue Qingzhu was unexpected, it was also expected. With the strength of the other party, as long as nothing happens, after hearing the news about his promotion to Hadao, he will definitely come to Jianglan Divine Kingdom all the way. Chapter 4709. Neither Duan Lingtian nor Feng Qingyang and his wife stayed in Jianglan Divine Kingdom for long and left quickly. After all, people from the Wanshanshan family might still come to cause trouble. At this stage, Duan Lingtian has a chance to escape in front of the two major Hadao members of the Wanshanshan family. However, Feng Qingyang, who has not yet joined the Dao, and Xue Qingzhu, who has only entered the 7th level of the Dao, have absolutely no chance of being strong in the Hadao. The killer's men escaped of. Duan Lingtian returned to his family, and Feng Qingyang and his wife followed. After returning home, Duan Lingtian could see Yu Xiao's joyful mood. Although he and Xue Qingzhu were holding hands and chatting about old times, his eyes fell more on his master Feng Qingyang. His thoughts were obvious. I have a deep love for him as my master. However, this kind of thing can only be solved by his master, and he, a junior, can just watch the show next to him. In the next period of time, Duan Lingtian, in addition to spending time with his family, was integrating his past understanding of the laws of space into the way of space, and the Tao of space was also improving at an extremely exaggerated speed, getting faster and faster. More and more amazing. In fact, Duan Lingtian is confident that within a few decades, the way of space will catch up with, or even surpass, the way of control. You must know that although the current method of control is not yet clear at the 9th level, it has reached the 8th level and should not be underestimated. Tired of staying at home, Duan Lingtian often took his wife out to travel outside of his cultivation. They traveled around the world incognito, and their footprints slowly covered almost every corner of the world of gods and earth. During this period, I also met some people who were not discerning, and without exception, they all ended badly. This is Shaoshan Divine Island. Niantian said in the past that he was trapped in a mining island in the Dark Night Forest in the eastern region of Shaoshan Divine Island. Shall we go and have a look? After Duan Lingtian and his wives arrived at Shaoshan Divine Island, Li Fei suggested that although she was quite worried about her son's experience, times have changed and it is the best ending for her son to be safe and sound. It's just a pity. The son's enemy was rescued by Lei Hong. After talking about it, Li Fei sighed, with cold anger and unwillingness mixed in the depths of her beautiful eyes. Well, let's go take a look. Duan Lingtian nodded. Hearing Li Fei mention Lei Hong, his eyes were calm, his face was calm, and his tone was calm. That Lei Hong either hides for the rest of his life and never shows up, otherwise, as long as I catch one he will die without a chance burial place. He didn't expect that even though they were all exiled to the world of gods and earth, Lei Hong's hatred for him would still be so deep. Since he wants to play, then I will play with him. Soon, Duan Lingtian and his party traveled to the eastern area of Shaoshan Island and arrived at the Dark Night Forest. Finally, after asking for directions, they found the mining island. Looking at the mine island, although Li Fei knew that her son was safe, she still felt sad. His son suffered a lot here. After not staying here long, Duan Lingtian and his party set off again to continue traveling around the world of gods and earth. While traveling, Duan Lingtian did not forget to understand the way of space. After all, this was the key to whether he could ask Wan Shanchen for an explanation and whether he could the creation life plate from Uluaha. He has a strong hunch that once the way of space is promoted to the 9th level, it will easily merge into his infinite sword way. After all, in the past in Wanjia, he followed the path of space swordsmanship. Now, the way of infinity is completely integrated into the way of swordsmanship. Once the way of swordsmanship and the way of space are integrated, the union of the three ways is right in front of you. The three paths merge into one. At this thought, Duan Lingshan's eyes were filled with hot flames. Only when the three paths are successfully combined can he truly stand at the pinnacle of this world of gods and earth. Moreover, the swordsmanship of infinite space, according to what he has learned so far, the world of gods and earth, there is no record in history that anyone has ever embarked on this path of harmony. Once he embarks on this path, he will be stronger than the current three-way powerhouses in the world of gods and earth. Because those powerful Hudao masters who combined the three ways all followed the old road that others had walked, and precisely because of the three ways integrating one-way monument left by their predecessors, they took it as a reference. Can we take a crucial step and successfully combine the three Tao and become a strong man who combines the three Tao? They tried their best to kill Uluaha, and the old owner of the creation life chart was also killed. It is absolutely impossible to do it out of compassion for others. They must be worried that Uluaha will merge the way of living sacrifice into the original two paths and embark on a new path of combining the three paths, which will make them invincible in the world of gods and earth and threaten them. Those people in the world of gods and earth, those who are strong in combining three paths, follow the old path that others have walked. So although they are stronger than those who combine two paths, their strength is limited. They want to leave behind someone who is not weak in a face-to-face situation. There is a certain degree of difficulty for those who are strong in combining the two paths. Of course, in a normal duel, the strongest of the three combined forces will definitely win. However, it is difficult for them to kill a strong man from the combined path. However, if the powerful man from the Wanshan Chan sects, He San Dao, attacks me, and another Hier Dao Chen Mingho steals the way, I may not be able to escape from the opponent's hands. This is also the disadvantage of following the same path as others. It is precisely because of this that Chen Mingho was so angry that he wanted to kill Duan Lingtian quickly. After confirming that Duan Lingtian was in Jianglan Divine Kingdom, he immediately rushed to Jianglan Divine Kingdom with his grandfather, who was a member of the Three Ways. I want to kill Duan Lingtian in Jianglan Divine Kingdom so that he can exclusively enjoy the infinite sword. Time flies by like a white horse passing by. In the blink of an eye, more than 100 years have passed. In these more than 100 years, all the old friends from the creation chart who are still alive have basically traveled thousands of miles to come to Jianglan Divine Kingdom after hearing about Duan Lingshan's name that made him famous in the world of gods and earth. The Duan mansion defected and had a place to stay since then. For a time, Duan mansion became even more lively. However, Duan Lingtian still asked the relatives and friends around him to stay outside. not wanting them to return to the Duan mansion and become the target of the Wanshanshan family and even Lei Hong. Since he failed to kill Duan Yintian and kidnap Duan Nianshan's enemies, Lei Hong seemed to have completely disappeared. Try again. As long as you can break through in one go, these three paths will be unified. More than 100 years later, Duan Lingtian successfully understood the way of space with the help of his understanding of the laws of space in the past Zogshan realm. The 9th level, he had already begun to try to combine it into the infinite swordway in the past few years. Take the most critical step. However, several years have passed, but they have not yet been able to successfully combine it. However, he is not discouraged. After all, if it were really that easy to combine the three ways, there wouldn't be only a few strong people in the world of the gods and earth. Chapter 47:10. What about you, Luaha and Qin Mingho? Duan Lingtian temporarily forgot about them, because he knew very well that with his current strength, he couldn't do anything to them. Only by combining the way of space into the infinite sword way and integrating the three ways into one, could he have the capital to intercept Yu Luaha and seize the creation life chart. Even go find Chen Mingho to settle the grievances caused by deliberately stealing the road in the past. The way of space is mysterious and unpredictable. A few years ago, he went to the two major unions of Jianglan Divine Kingdom and Kuhai Temple and asked them for information about the way of space. According to what they said, the way of space is among the 10,000 ways. Considered relatively strong big way. It is said that the super strong man who refined the creation life chart in the past had the way of space among the ways he combined. There is even a way of time. That person is said to be one of the few superpowers in the history of the world of gods and earth who combines the four realms. Of course, according to Jiang Tianjing and Yongye Divine Monk, it is just a legend. No one can be sure whether it is true or not, because the person who refined the creation life chart was a figure from the world of gods and earth a long time ago, and can be traced back to Taikua time that is so far away from the present that it is unimaginable. The creation life chart also went to bed with that person at the end of his life, and rested in the tomb left by the other person. It was not until someone got the creation life chart that it reappeared in front of the world. The person who got the creation life chart was the old owner of the creation life chart in the past, and was also the way of heaven of the historical era where old man Wukong lived. In the past, it was precisely because that person was besieged and killed, and the creation life plate was shattered, that the lives inside were not as lucky as Duan Lingshan's generation, and they all died with the creation life plate being broken. Even if they were stronger than no-time-old humans are not immune to being destroyed by the power of the rules of the creation chart. This time, although the new master Yu Luaha was also surrounded and killed, the opponent had the means to save his life. He risked serious injuries and escaped with a slightly damaged creation life chart. As long as I integrate the way of space into the infinite sword way, I will not be afraid of anyone in this world of gods and earth, including those powerful men of the three combined ways. Duan Lingshan's eyes flashed with passion and yearning. In the past, in the world of creation and destiny, he was invincible in the 9 heavens and 10 earths. After coming to the world of gods and earth, although he was considered a strong man, there were still beings stronger than him. Now standing at the pinnacle of the world of gods and earth, there are still a few people who are stronger than him. As for other people, many of them are slightly stronger than him, but when combined with the two, even if they are strong, they are only limited. However, with the interference of Chen Mingho's shit-stirring stick, his strength can only be regarded as the bottom existence in the Hadao realm in the world of gods and earth, because when he is robbed, his strength will be significant restrictions, such as a result, it is naturally a big discount. When Duan Lingtian studied the way of space and merged into the infinite sword way, his master Feng Qingyang was also on the road to combine the way of time and the way of sword. His way of time also entered the 9th level a few years ago. As long as Hadao succeeds, you can master the sword of time. Although the time sword way is not a new way in the world of gods and earth, because the way of time is extremely difficult to understand, the number of people who have experienced the time sword way in the history of the god and earth world is extremely limited. So even though it is not a new way, they can still master it. Call it the quasi-new way. If Feng Qingyang could synthesize the time sword Dao, his strength would probably be second only to those strong men who combined the three Tao in the world of eyes and earth. Because of the existence of the other combined paths, the path that each person walks has a time when Kendo is new. For example, Duan Ling Tian, even if Qin Mingho doesn't compete with him, Feng Qingyang, who combines the time swordsmanship with his infinite swordsmanship, is by no means an opponent. The difference lies in the newness or oldness of the Tao of harmony. The older the Tao, the weaker the power it can mobilize. In the end, Feng Qingyang was the first to successfully merge, and for a while, a strange phenomenon appeared in the world, shaking all directions. Even though there was no one nearby, the movement was so big that it spread widely. Practitioners further away saw the movement, and for a while the knowledgeable people were in an uproar. Someone succeeded. Oh my God! What kind of harmony is this? Look at this vision. One of them is the way of swordsmanship, and the other way is not recognized. This power looks extremely mysterious, and it feels more terrifying than the way of swordsmanship. There was a Hadao strongman who broke through. Even though everyone was curious, after confirming that the other party broke through in a deserted place, no one dared to get close, for fear of offending the other party. The other party is hiding in a place like this, obviously not wanting to be disturbed. If they rush over and disturb the other party, they will not be able to bear the drop of a finger when the other party is angry. I really didn't expect that in just 200 years, two powerful Hadao warriors would be born. Yes, this is also the first time in the history of the world of gods and earth. Those are powerful Hadao warriors. Two people became successful within 200 years. Looking at the past history of the world, there has never been such a bizarre thing. While the people outside were shocked, Duan Lingtian and others also gathered over after Feng Qingyang broke through. Master, congratulations. Duan Lingtian was the first to congratulate him, and everyone else followed suit. They were Duan Lingshan's relatives and friends, and they all respected Duan Lingshan's master from the bottom of their hearts. Now, the other party has also succeeded in joining the Tao, which makes them marvel and inevitably feel happy. Because this also means that people like them can gain a better foothold in the world of gods and earth, and may not need to hide like in the past. So Wanshan Qian is not afraid of Duan Lingtian and Hadao realm. How can he not be afraid of two Hadao territory? Thank you all. Feng Qingyang responded with a smile, and at the same time looked at Duan Lingtian, with a look of eagerness on his face. Xiao Tian, can you and I find a place to spar? Master, there is no need. I am definitely not your opponent now. Duan Lingtian shook his head and said helplessly, not to mention my action, Qin Mingho will most likely cause trouble. Even if he doesn't cause trouble, Infinite Sword Dao will one path is far inferior to the Time Sword path. The former was killed by others. The latter is a quasi-new way. Hearing this, Feng Qing raised his eyebrows and his eyes were slightly cold. Xiao Tian, I have made a breakthrough now. Otherwise, you and I will go to the Wanshan family together to warn Qin Mingho. You and I are both in harmony, and now we are still really not afraid of their Wanshan family. They are a double master, so why are we not? Seeing that his master seemed eager to fly to the Wanshan family immediately, Duan Lingtian shook his head again. Master, there is no need for that at the moment. With our current strength, the most we can do is give them a warning. We can't do anything to them. With the strong man who combines the three ways, it's hard for us to touch Qin Mingho. Let's take a trip. Chapter 47:11. Master Feng Qingyang successfully joined the path. Duan Lingtian was happy for him, and at the same time, his motivation increased greatly. Continue to delve into the ways of space. As long as my way of space is integrated into the infinite sword way, and the infinite space sword way is achieved, with the strength of my master and me, no one in this divine earth world will dare to offend. Even the Wanshan family is not enough. For concern. That old guy from the Wanshan family who combines the three ways, according to what the young yet divine monk said, he only combined a path that many people have walked. In terms of strength, the 5 powerful people in the world of gods and earth who combine the three ways, he is the weakest. Over the years, Duan Lingtian occasionally went to Jianglan Divine Kingdom to find Jiang Tianzheng, and to Ku Hai Temple to find Youngye Divine Monk. In addition to discussing Taoism, He also learned a lot about the world of divine land from their mouths, including those who were strong in Hadao. Among the 5 strongest people, Chen Jiuxiao of the Wanshanshan family is weaker. If he can integrate the way of space into the infinite sword way, not to mention surpassing Chen Jiuxiao, he can even surpass the other 4 powerful 3-way masters in the world of gods and earth. At that time, with the cooperation of his master with the Sword of Time, even if it is a powerful person from the 3 combined paths, the 2 of them may not be able to intercept him. After I break through, I will first destroy you Luaha and seize the creation fate. Then, I will go to the Wanshanshan family and destroy that Qinmingho. If Chen Jiuxiao dares to stop, then let's destroy them together. At this thought, Duan Lingshan's eyes also flashed with a bit of sternness. After all, he had no intention of provoking the other party at first, but the other party just came to him, looking like he was going to kill him, making him want to convince himself to let go. It's difficult to get past the other party. Continue. Taking a deep breath, Duan Lingtian once again immersed himself in the understanding of the way of space and the way of the infinite sword. Currently, the integration of the way of space and the way of sword is advancing very quickly, but the only slower ones are the way of infinity and the way of space. Fusion of Tao encountered some difficulties. However, Duan Lingtian believes that as long as he is given time, he will be able to completely integrate it sooner or later. Once that time comes, it also means that his 3 paths merge into one. Since Feng Qingyang succeeded in joining the Tao, Duan Lingtian and others left that secluded place because it had been exposed. Even if no one would disturb them in a short period of time, over time, there would definitely be someone joining the way. Dao Qiang come and visit Feng Qingyang, the newly promoted Hadao. Although with the current strength of Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang, even the 2 Hadao of the Wanshanshan family would have to consider it, they did not want to be disturbed, so they moved away, changed to a secluded place with beautiful mountains and clear waters. After being promoted to Hadao, Feng Qingyang became more relaxed. According to what he said, his 3rd path was still early, so there was no rush. The matter of combining the 3 paths should be left to his disciple Duan Lingtian first. As for himself, he took Xue Qingzhu and Yuxiao out sometimes and came back sometimes, which was very uncomfortable. It is worth mentioning that with Xue Qingzhu's help, Yuxiao also became Duan Lingshan's mistress. To be precise, she is the 2nd master. Time is like sand that cannot be grasped, constantly flowing away, leaving no time to care. Spring passed and autumn came, and 1,000 years passed in the blink of an eye. After 1,000 years, Yu Luaha completely recovered from his injuries. Standing on the top of a steep mountain peak, Yu Luaha was wearing a white robe and his handsome face revealed a bit of evil. He looked into the distance with a sneer at the corner of his mouth. For more than 1,000 years, Duan Lingtian hasn't come back. It seems like he gave up. But Yu Luaha couldn't help but frown when he thought that Duan Lingtian could sense the location of the creation chart. This was something he never expected. After all, the creation chart was not made by him, and he didn't know what kind of hidden hand it contained. Over the past 1,000 years, he has also carefully studied the creation chart that has been restored to its original state, and the worlds inside have been restabilized. However, in the end, he has not been able to understand why the creation chart was destroyed by the beings who walked out of it. Breakthrough perceived after reaching the Hadao realm. Judging from the current situation, Duan Lingtian probably has no intention of asking a strong person in the Hadao realm to help deal with me, otherwise, he would have come long ago. The creation chart has always been on Luo He, because this is his heady. The core of the 3-way of life sacrifice is that as long as he successfully merges, his 3 paths will become one, which will be a new thing that has never appeared in the past history of the world of gods and earth. Tao, the real new Tao, not some quasi-new Tao. At that time, even if the 3 powerful men in the world of gods and earth join forces to deal with him, even if he is defeated, he will still be able to retreat calmly. It seems that Duan Lingtian doesn't intend to let others know where the creation chart is. Is he worried about making a wedding dress for others? After thinking about this, Yu Luaha secretly breathed a sigh of relief. To be honest, he was really worried that Duan Lingtian would bring a group of Hadao strong men to track and kill him. His only means of saving life had been used last time. If the previous situation happened again this time, if he was surrounded and killed, he would definitely die. But I still need to integrate the way of life sacrifice into my original way as soon as possible. After the three ways merge into one, even if I don't kill that part of Lingtian, no one will be able to take away the creation life chart. After years of hard work, Uluaha not only repaired the creation chart, but also allowed the way of life sacrifice to enter the 9th level. He is now on the road to combining the three ways and is preparing to combine them into one, a whole new way. Suddenly, the outer consciousness seemed to notice something, causing Uluaha's color to change instantly. Call. I saw the void shaking in the distance. In a blink of an eye, two figures had already passed through Ulua River's spiritual consciousness and came to the vicinity of Ulua River. They stood there in the air and stared at the distance. Looking at him, it was two young men. One is wearing purple and the other is wearing green robe. Duan Lingtian? Feng Qingyang. As the owner of the creation life plan, although he cannot directly intervene in the life and death of the creatures in the world of the creation life plan due to the rules, it is easy to monitor them. So he has long known that Duan Lingtian, gentle breeze what it looks like. Otherwise, when Duan Lingtian came to chase him, he wouldn't have recognized Duan Lingtian at first sight. The wind is gentle. Uluaha was really not afraid of Duan Lingtian. With his strength restored to its prime, it would be easy to defeat Duan Lingtian. If Duan Lingtian refused to retreat, it would not be surprising if he died at his hands. After all, the path he is currently following is a quasi-new path. He is also one of the best among the two strong men in the world of gods and earth. Otherwise, he was surrounded and killed last time. Even if he had the means to save his life, he would not be able to escape death. When his spiritual consciousness touched the past and approached Feng Qingyang, Uluaha's color changed instantly, and his face showed a look of horror. How is that possible? He has also been promoted to Hadao? When did Hadao become Chinese cabbage? Are you kidding me? You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.